Hello and welcome to the What's Good with Gil and Larry podcast. I am Gilly Rizari. That is my main man, Mr. LL himself, Larry Loper. We are coming to you live from Northern Delaware. Listen, let's just get right into it. We didn't have a show last week because there really wasn't a whole lot to get into, nooks and crannies. We could have mentioned a bunch of things, but we weren't going to be able to talk like we wanted to talk with the folks, with the people. Feel free to tell a friend, hit like, subscribe, and if you leave a comment, we'll read it on the air. Sounds good? Let's do it. Larry, it's time. It's time. It's not Miller time. It's NBA time and it's NHL time. We are here. We are at the NBA Finals with an S and the NHL Final signature. Singular. Um, so let's do this. Let's do the NBA first. That's a little more our wheelhouse.
Yeah,
We got Celtics Mavs. I know both of us were kind of feeling the Celtics
yeah, for sure,
coming out of the East. They had maybe the easiest,
for sure,
easiest ride
for
to
sure,
get to the finals that I've ever seen.
for
And
sure.
the Mavs, listen,
I,
I thought they were gonna beat the Clippers round one,
you
but then
called it.
after that,
You
I didn't,
called
I didn't pick them. I didn't pick them for anything after that, and here they are. So, what is your initial thoughts on both teams getting to the finals? I'm sure you're gonna have a lot more to say about the Mavs than you will the Celtics,
Yeah.
and then give me a preview of what to look out for early in this series because it looks like Porzingis is going to be ready for game one, which is on Thursday, and how you see this thing going, and then I'll jump in.
Well, obviously, we both thought that Boston. It was a no-brainer coming out the East. I thought the hardest team that was going to be able to even compete with them would have been Philly, with a salvageable Embiid. Thought would have gave them a challenge. Um, Once again, New York was gassed at the end when they went against Indiana. That's what happens when one you got to play your star player 48 minutes per game. You got to play the whole game, which is tip style. They did the Derrick Rose, and no wonder Derrick Rose didn't last as long as he could have lasted. Two, um, this is what you're going to get with backup players. I mean, kudos to him in the lineup, but he played backups, and that's why they're backups. You know what I'm saying? They can get you to a point, but they ain't gonna be able to get you over the hill. Okay. Then you get to the end of series with Boston, which we and Bob both agreed that once you lost game one, that was the only game that I thought they possibly could have probably won, and that was only because Boston had such a long period of rest, right? And when they didn't capitalize off of that game they had in the bag, I already knew the series is over, whether Halliburton would have played or not. But as we know, Boston had a way easier path to the finals. They were not challenged at all. I think that the hardest challenge they had probably was the Cleveland series, which was a joke. You know, um, Tatum, Tatum and Brown is an awesome combo. I thought coming into the season when they got Drew Holiday that they made a hell of a steal. It was a hell of a trade. Okay, because you got defense and you gave up Marcus Smart, which was a defensive player, but he lacked offense, right? So you get Drew Holiday and then you get Porzingis. Man, it was a steal, right? You bring Al Horford over as your five. He's still got good buckets in him. He's not going to beat Alpha we knew of Atlanta, nor when he played in Boston in his earlier years. But he still gives you a body and he's still productive. You can still stretch, hit the three, give you good defense, right? So on paper, once again, they had the best record. Boston had the best record in the NBA. Okay, they've been there. Tatum and Brown have been there. So for them, I think it's way more pressure on Boston than it is on Dallas because Boston's supposed to win. Boston is no more excuses for Tatum. This is going to solidify his status amongst the great Celtics. Okay, because now, as we know, it's his time. We went from Larry Bird, then it crossed over to Paul Pierce, and now the Manum Trent is transferring over to Tatum and Jaylen Brown. Okay. Um, Now, like I said before, I don't really nothing to elaborate too much on Boston because I expect them to be here. It's not, there's no mystery. Porzingis coming back, it's a plus if you get anything good out of Porzingis. But let's be honest, you're talking about coming into the finals off injury. I don't expect too much out of Porzingis, but once again, if you can get anything out of him, it's a plus. I think it helps him tremendously, even if it's just another body. You know, if he could give you 10, that's a plus. You know, so Boston coming out, not the issue. Now Dallas, on the other hand, um, I think definitely had a harder. I think they had a harder definitely harder road. Um, I think they benefited from Minnesota playing a tough series against Denver. I believe Denver. I think Minnesota was built to beat Denver, but they were not. They didn't make the adjustments to beat Dallas. You know how you beat the team that's like just a team that we just had our number over the years, right? You finally beat that team, and I thought that Minnesota gave it. We did it. They was already hoisting the Western Conference Finals before they even began, right? And Charles Barkley said this. Credit to Charles Barkley. He said it. He said that the matchup. He kept saying, I don't think the matchup favors Minnesota. Okay. Rudy Gobert, which just won the Defensive Player of the Year. Rudy Gobert just won the Defensive Player of the Year, right? He's going down in history amongst one of the greatest defensive players, supposedly, because of this reward, right? I don't know about you, Gil, but when I watched this game, man, I saw one, the defensive player of the year was a liability. Big time
At
situations, you got to
times.
pull them out.
Mm-hmm.
You got to pull them out. I thought it was terrible coaching. Terrible coaching. Terrible coaching. Your big man is getting switched up. You see the switch happening, right? A good coach says, "Oh no, you're not going to keep," because this is the matches that Dallas wanted. They wanted Luka on Rudy Gobert, right? Because Rudy can't keep up with that guard. He can't, and Luka's slow, but he's faster than Gobert, right? And then for Anthony Edwards to call out Kyrie, which I'll let a competitor than you, but you woke up a sleeping giant, man. You just don't. You can say what you want about Kyrie, but ultra competitive is what he is. Okay, we got old clips when he challenged Kobe Bryant. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and he said, "Man, who gonna stick me? This Kobe Bryant." In the GOAT conversation. So now you woke up this giant in Kyrie, right? And I just thought the role players played a hell of a game, man. I thought it was going to come down to the role players in the series. I did. Their big two came to play. Minnesota's. Do we need to talk about Cat? Do we need to talk about Carl Anthony Towns? I know they call you Cat. It doesn't mean that you have to have a finesse game like a cat. It means that you need to take your big behind down the paint, expose the weakness, and play big. No, what he did, he bailed out. He said, I shoot 1,500 shots in practice, and it's frustrating that I'm not hitting it. So if you're shooting 4 for 32, dumb, that means go to the paint. If you're shooting 4 for 32, dumb, that means it's leaving you open to shoot the three. They rather you shoot the three than actually go and play to your strengths, which is being a 7-footer. Okay. Rudy Gobert is not the guy you're going to call for offense. Okay. Nas, hell of a series. Nas Reed, 6th man of the year, came out, gave him great minutes. How is a 6th man giving you greater production than your starters?
Mm-hmm.
How is your coach seeing that you're getting beat with the lob? Penetrate, throw the lob up. Dallas had more dunks than 2-pointers. Every time they came to the paint, it was a dunk. Hold up. I got one better for you, Gilly. Not only did they get beat with the dunk, right? But how was PJ Washington in the corner wide open? Spot shot. Oh, he's just taking threes, right? How is the corners? I don't care who you put on the corners. Wide open. Lack of defense. So they're telling me defensively that it's a lack of communication defensively, right? They're not talking. because the only way that you could possibly be free, that free on the corner, is because somebody got caught in the switch and somebody either didn't come over the top of the pick or they didn't fight through it. Right? So now they say, oh, I thought he was gonna wide open, splash, mountain. Okay, I'm a coach. First and foremost, 20, 10, give me the 4. I don't know what you're going to give me. But look, this is what we need to do. I don't know what's going on here, but you guys are not talking on defense, right? Why would you wait to the final, the last game? We have no more games after this, fellas. We don't have no more going in and figuring it out, okay? Where's the competitor at, Gil? Some boys got beat by 40 on their own floor. Reminds me of a team that matter of fact, I think it was Dallas when they played Phoenix. And Luka and them was up by 35 in that game too. I believe Anthony Edwards was on a commercial showing us on that sound bit when he was sitting there and he was like, 35? 35? Yeah, well, y'all got beat by 38 too. So,
yep.
Same guy, Luka, had a bad game from 4. He said, you know what, I'm going to come out aggressive. Cat, Gobert, and what they say, we'll be back. I don't know about be back because I think it's very hard to repeat, to be honest. Okay. So, what do I think about this finals? I done gave you my recap of both of how we got here. Okay. It's very difficult, man. It's difficult, man. To me, it's going to come down to the role players, and I think I go with my gut, and I think my gut is telling me the Boston's actually going to win this series. Now, I'm going to tell you my X factor, and this is why I say if Dallas do win, I'm going to tell you why they win. Better coaching. It's going to come down to better coaching. It's going to be that Jason Kidd is going to be able to make the adjustments. For matchups, Drew Holiday is a great on-ball defender. Brown's a great defender, is a good defender, and you know Tatum they rotate. Offensively, you got Brown, you got Tatum. That's going to be the matchup concern to me. Who's going to stick who, right? Do you pit Luka on Tatum, and then you let Kyrie get Brown, or is Kyrie going to get Drew Holiday? Who's going to get Brown? That's the question. Is it PJ Washington you going to put on Jaylen Brown? Big man wise, I would give it to Dallas, but then again, I can't because I say Boston's more physical. I think Boston's going to be able to do what Minnesota should have done, which if you got tall, lanky, athletic bigs, put body on them. They're not beating you off of strength. They're beating you off finesse, and they ain't even finesse because they're not like they're creating their shots. They're creating their shots off of lobs. You feel me? So if you could put a body on them, that eliminates the lob factor, which I think Al Horford and whoever you Cornette, whoever you bring in, I think they'll be able to provide the bodies, Porzingis, the bodies in order to put a body on these guys so they don't get them easy lobs. And I don't see that happening with Boston, to be honest. I think they're defensively sound enough that they're not going to get beat on the lob. So, my opinion, I think that it's Boston's time. I think it's Boston year. I think they have the best record for a reason. And I got Boston winning it. And I'm going to say Boston is 6.
So, shockingly, I agree with everything you just said. Everything. I think I'm picking Boston to win. I'm picking Boston to win in 6. And I think it's going to be a good 6.
Yeah.
I can't say it's going to be a great series if it only goes 6.
Yeah.
But I don't see it going 7. I just think that Dallas, they have 2 consistent scorers, maybe a third in Reed coming off the bench. Everybody else is nice. It's a nice team, Hardaway and whatnot. But what's it? Beverly? No, is that his name? The big guy.
Oh,
Um,
Lively.
Lively. That's
Derek
it.
Lively. Yeah, Derek
Lively.
Lively. Yup.
But the Celtics, although I don't think they're that deep,
No.
um, their starting five is good.
Yeah.
They got some players.
Yeah.
They don't have to
Yeah.
depend on one guy or two guys.
Yeah.
They got players. They got role players that can
Yeah.
really play defense and give you points when they need points. They got White. They got Hofford. They got Holiday. And those aren't the stars. You got two stars, and now you're bringing in Porzingis. That's just a bonus. That's a guy that they didn't have. Now you got to worry that maybe he messes up short term their
Yeah.
offensive flow, but that's going to hurt Boston maybe for a game. That's about it. That'll
I
hurt
agree.
them game one. And I don't think they're really going to rely on Porzingis. I think
No.
he's probably not going to play a ton of minutes.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to start him, the beginning of the game, halftime, and he's probably not going to play a lot in the second quarter and the fourth quarter unless they're down and they need another scoring option. Um, I think Dallas can make a series out of this, but I don't see it going past 6. I could see Dallas winning game 1 though. I think they can do that, which would be nice to see the underdog team take the lead and be playing from the front instead of catch up the whole series. But I agree with you. I think it's Boston's time. The road there was too easy, and they've had this long break. I mean, they've had a week and a half break practically. Was it 9 days, 10 days,
Yeah.
something like that?
Yeah.
Dallas has got a nice break too, but Boston, I mean, they haven't been tested. They haven't been close to tested. They've lost 2 games in the playoffs, and they just swept Indiana, who, quite honestly, they let game 1 go, and that
Yeah.
would have been big for them, and they
Yeah.
just didn't know how to finish. And young teams, that happens. They just don't know how to bring it home. We've seen that happen multiple times. So that should be a learning experience for them. That's when I wish that New York would have played them, because
Yeah.
New
Me
York
too.
would have got a game.
Yeah.
They at least would have
Yeah.
got a game. And
Sure.
Madison Square Garden would have been
For sure.
electric
Oh.
coming there for game 3, game 4, but it didn't happen. It is what it is. I see the Celtics winning. I hope I'm wrong. I want the I'll be rooting for the Mavericks, which I never thought I would say with a team that's got Kyrie after last year. I mean, once he left Cleveland, he just became a guy you just couldn't root for. Couldn't root for him in Boston. Couldn't root for him in Brooklyn, and that's my team.
Mm-hmm.
I guess they're my team. They were really more my team when it was New Jersey.
Yeah, New Jersey. That's right.
But they left. What am I gonna do? And then he goes to Dallas, and you see they did not know how to play with each other.
No,
they went worse. The record got worse. The winning percentage got worse once Kyrie joined the team. They didn't know how to finish. They didn't know who the closer was. Now they had an off season, and Kyrie has accepted his role as being the number 2 guy, and he knows when to take over and be the focus on the offense for a few possessions, so Luka could take a blow. And what happened is, I've noticed, I'm not going to say he's good, but I have noticed Luka has played better defense this year, since he hasn't had to carry the bulk of the offense. Kyrie can play off the ball. He could be ball dominant. So to have the luxury of Luka to take a couple of offensive possessions off so he can concentrate a little on defense. I mean, the guy's 6'7", and you can't move him. He's so much bigger than any other guard that's playing against him. That's why most of the time your best defender, if it's a small forward, has to play him. Because you're right, he's slow, and he's not super athletic, NBA athleticism-wise, but he gets to every spot on the court that he wants. He wants to go top of the wing, he goes there. Yep. He wants to go, free throw, he goes there. There is nobody one-on-one that prevents him because he just backs him down.
Yep.
He's got a good dribble for a
Yep.
big guy.
Yep.
That's why, he plays point, but he's not point forward. He's point guard.
He's point
He's
guard.
like Magic. He's point
Yeah.
guard. He's a
Great.
forward size, but he's
point.
got guard skill, guard ball handling skills.
Great point. He is like Magic. If you was going to compare him to any guard, Magic, because he's tall. Like you said, he's deceptively stronger than people take him for. He's strong. He's like power forward strong, but guard agility and guard vision. Like you said, that what makes his game so powerful is that he literally gets whatever spot he wants to get to. You're not going to rip him. So that's the first thing. You're just not going to take the ball in his hand, right? It's a rhythmic ball, place high ball, man. It's rhythmic. It's not rushed, and he has the ability to slow the game down to his pace. That's the beauty of him and Joker. Similar, because they play this at their pace. You know what I'm saying, bro? Great point there, man. Yeah. And like you said, I think that with Luka being with Kyrie addition coming over, and like you said, them figuring it out. Because I think it was that where do I fit in the role with that first year when it wasn't going so well. But I think once Kyrie understood that now it's Luka's team, I'm here to come in and just take the pressure off of him as much as possible. Because we knew that Luka had a lot on his shoulders, man, a lot. Like he had to drop 40 and 10 and whatever, 12, whatever he had to do in order for them to even be in the game. So now you're able to rush your big guy, let Kyrie take over, while Kyrie rests and Luka do his thing. Perfect combination. Perfect combination. No different than what Brown and Tatum is doing.
Right.
Tatum could take a rest and Brown could take over the offense. Vice versa. When Brown's getting his rest, it's Tatum time. The only knock against Tatum is will he step up in the fourth quarter? But once again, I ask you this, Gil, because you know that Brown got the MVP, right? Brown got the MVP of the Eastern Conference Finals. My question is this. I know they say it's Jason Tatum's team, but who's a better and more consistent player in your opinion?
Well, I think Tatum is the better, more consistent player. I just think in the fourth quarter, he gets quiet. He gets quiet in the fourth quarter.
Now, is that because he's getting double team looks? You think is that because he's getting double and that Brown has the ability to get one-on-one?
I don't know. I don't want to elevate Tatum by bringing down Brown. I just think Tatum is a better player, but he hasn't had to push himself in the postseason. So he's been front running and he's been going out and doing his thing for 3 quarters, almost every game. A few games he had to do a little bit in the fourth quarter, where Brown has been better in the fourth quarter and obviously hitting that 3 to go to overtime. That's what people remember. I still don't think he is as good as Tatum.
Okay.
But I mean, we're not. It's not 1-2. It's 1A, 1B.
Yeah.
I think it's that close. But I still have it as Tatum's team. He's usually first team All NBA, not Brown. I mean, it's close, and they're both. I'm not sure that either one of them has hit their peak yet. To be perfectly honest. Yeah. They might still, if they win this title, that might be enough to push them over to really be elite status. And I think they're going to win the title. And so do you.
Yeah.
What do you think? Let's play devil's advocate. What do you think it'll take for the Mavs to pull off the upset in this series outside of an injury?
Okay.
What do you think there would have to be? See, to me, both teams are going to go into it saying we know how to score.
Right.
So then you got to think, defensively.
Yeah.
What do we do? And you can't stop great players.
No, you can't.
You can harass them to frustrate them. There's 30 points and there's 30 points. I can score 30,
Mhm.
on 18 shots and getting to the free throw line. Or I can score 30 with 25 shots and not getting to the free throw line.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like there's different ways to score 30. And if you're
Um,
jacking up a lot more shots to get it,
well,
then you're kind of playing into their hand because your
yeah.
shooting percentage is probably going to go down. It's going to give the other team extra possessions, right?
Right.
So you can get yours points wise, but team wise, they're probably going to score less. So to me, I think it has to be some kind of defensive
Yeah,
execution.
I do.
And what does Dallas need to try and take away or minimize? Because Celtics like to shoot a lot
Right.
of threes.
In my opinion, I would think that one, I think for Dallas to be able, one, you want to keep it close. You want to keep it close. You don't want like the game to get away from you. Okay, you don't want balls to go on these crazy scoring runs where you got these scoring droughts. So you can't go on a scoring drought where they go on a 15-1 run or something like that, right? I think it's coming down to the role players. I think it's going to come down to the role players. Who role players step up? Will the PJ Washingtons? Will the livelies? With the
Lively, yeah.
what's my man named Gafford, Daniel Gafford? That's the guys who need to step up. You got guys like Dante Exum coming off the
Yeah.
bench.
Remember
Them
him?
type of guys. Yeah, Dante Exum. Them type of guys. Hardaway Jr. obviously. And you can't let Boston's the little guy get you, like the Peyton Pritchards. You can't let the Derek White get you. You can't let Drew Holiday go off. You want to kind of let them be defense, but don't let them get offense. And for defensive things, I guess my thing is don't let both of the Tatum and Brown beat me. You can let Tatum beat me, but they both can't have a good game. You know what I mean? So if Brown goes for 30, we got to at least have Tatum go for like 15, 16, which is hard to do. But if you keep them between, I say 15 to 20, let Brown go for 30, you have a chance. Um, and once again, Kyrie and them can't go have bad shooting games like they did against Minnesota that one game they lost. Or even a lot of them games they didn't have really good shooting games. Um, that's the key, that they can't go in there and have bad shooting games. They have to go in and take the close games, and they have to beat them in the close games. Because once you beat Boston in the close game, you're putting pressure on them. And then you got to go back to Dallas, which Boston isn't a bad road team though, so it isn't like they
They're
can't
good.
beat in Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's gonna be coaching, man. It's gonna be coaching. I believe Jason Kidd can make the adjustments. I don't know about Missoula. I don't know about Missoula because remember when they played against Golden State, once again they went against a veteran team though. When they played Golden State, right? But still, Missoula did not
Well,
make the adjustments
2 years ago, he wasn't the head coach.
when they went.
Yeah, when they went 2 years ago, he wasn't the head coach. He was the head coach this year and last year. Yeah, what's his name? Got
Oh,
fired, and
I
now
thought
he's
he, I
in
thought, I
Houston.
thought he took on it. No, he did take on that, you right? No, Miami beat him. He couldn't make the adjustments against Miami.
Last year. Yeah.
Last year when they played Jimmy Butler and them, he didn't make the adjustments for Miami. You're right. It was the guy Uduge,
Yeah.
Uduge took him to the finals. You're right.
Yeah.
Yup.
And now he's with Houston.
Yeah, yeah. He can't be sleeping around with the Celtic staff.
We're never gonna know exactly what happened there, but for him to get canned like on the spot as soon as they found out,
Might be
something
not. Yes, might be knocking off the owner's wife. Who knows?
something happened.
Something.
I don't know. I don't know. All right, so we kind of went off the rails there.
Yeah.
So final thought right now. Series starts tomorrow.
Mhm.
Who do you think wins game one? The return of Porzingis. And keep in mind, there's extra motivation because this is Kyrie against
Right,
the Celtics.
right.
Okay. And that was a bad divorce.
Terrible divorce. Terrible divorce. The Boo Boys are gonna be out. Um, you know, I think that Dallas is gonna go in. That first game is gonna be a competitive game, but I think that the Boston is gonna eke it out. So I got Boston winning that first one. If anything, I think that if anything, Dallas might get the second one.
Mm.
But we have known that Boston does not play well in game twos. So I could see Dallas going to game two and coming out smoking. And it might even blow them out in game two, to be honest.
Mm.
And they go back to Dallas and then Boston get it together, blow Dallas out in Dallas, and there's that critical game four where, it's going to be a tight one, but I think Boston will be able to pull it out.
I think Dallas will win one of these first two games. I'm leaning towards game one because I'm just thinking that the layoff, the Celtics are going to come out flat. Mm-hmm. They're not going to have that finals energy. And I think Dallas will be more on point, and the Celtics' best player does not play the best in the fourth quarter. So yeah. I think if Dallas goes into the fourth quarter with a lead, I'm not even saying like a big lead, like 8. And then for whatever reason you cancel out Tatum, now you're relying on Porzingis. Now you're relying on White. Now you're relying on Horford. Brown's going to give you what he's going to give you.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of leaning towards Dallas winning game one, but it wouldn't surprise me if it was just the opposite, where they win game two. But I do think they're going to win one of these two games, and that's going to be really exciting going back to Dallas 1-1. I'll like that. All right. We're not going to obviously talk as much about the NHL because that's not really our wheelhouse. What I will say is as expected, the NHL playoffs have been awesome.
Yeah.
They have been awesome.
Yeah.
They have been fast. They have been scoring. No lead is safe. Even a 3-goal lead is not safe. There's been better goaltending as the series has gone on.
Yeah.
And we were all wrong, including Brad.
Yeah.
Dallas and the Rangers are who we all picked to make it to the finals. They were the two best teams on the East and the West, and they both got eliminated in the conference finals.
But Brad, to his credit, did say, though, with the Rangers side, that if the Rangers did not come out and handle business, that the Panthers were a dangerous team. And the Panthers showed you that they were a dangerous team. And Edmonton said, hey, we ain't getting it back to Dallas. We ain't going to go back and play game 7 home, like you said, home ice, right? He said, nope, we're not going back to Dallas. We're going to kill them on our own floor. Great series, man. Great series, man. Edmonton, man, it's crazy because I remember when they went on that run in the middle of the season when they went 19 straight. Remember they went on that 19, they won 19 straight games, right? And they found a rhythm. And I honestly didn't see them coming out, man. I honestly thought it was going to either be Golden Knights or I thought the Colorado might came out the West, right? And for Edmonton, representing Toronto, that's not the Toronto team. I mean, Canada. That's not the Canadian team that people wanted to see. They wanted to see Toronto, right? But Toronto's a big disappointment, so that wasn't going to happen
every year. Disappointment.
And Dallas, I think they had the best record in the West, right? I believe they did. Yep, they had the best record.
They were the number 1 seed in the West.
And Edmonton, they were, like you said, man, their offense was powerful, man. They fast, man. They were fast. McDavid, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he showed out. Man. You see the one when he wiggled through the power play, when he wiggled through the power play.
He's right in the middle.
Oh, man, that was sweet. That was beauty.
It is so funny that for you and I to admittingly be novice NHL followers. We love the sport, but we
Yes.
admit that we don't put the time in with the NHL like we do with, the other sports, basketball, football, stuff like that. But we said when the NHL was starting, we said look out for the two Connors,
Where we did.
McDavid and
Yup.
Bedard, the rookie.
Yup.
We said
sure
both
did.
of them. We said Bedard is the rookie to look for, and McDavid is going
that
into
it?
this season
Yup.
the best player
The
in the
best
league.
player.
We said that.
Word
Both
we
of
did.
us
Yup.
said that.
Yup.
And look at him now. He's
And
in the finals.
Look at it. He's
In the
leading his team
finals.
to the finals.
Well, not
To the
finals,
finals.
final. Singular.
Final. The final. Right?
He's in the final.
He's in the final. Right?
With Edmonton. And who is in the pregame period breaks and post game talking about Connor McDavid and the Edmonton Oilers, the great one, Wayne Gretzky.
Yes,
How about
did.
that?
Yes, he did.
How about that? Wayne Gretzky won, I believe, 5 Stanley Cups with the Edmonton Oilers. And now his team is back.
This is back.
And he's back with maybe the best guy since Wayne Gretzky.
It's funny how history repeats itself.
How about that?
Ain't that funny? You get the best player literally in the whole league on the same team that the great one had took to their Stanley Cup final. Ain't that something?
It feels like it was just yesterday, and it's been closer to like 35 years.
Yes, it does, man. And then on the flip side, hey, man, I feel sorry for the Rangers fans, man, because they had a great team. But they put on the ice this year, great team. It was a great team. By right, we had them going. But you can't deny Florida either. They went back to back, bro. They might be like, if they lose, they'll be like Buffalo Bills. They'll be a great team that, we don't want to talk about the loser, but if you think about it, Buffalo went to 4 Super Bowls in a row. Yeah, they lost them, but think about how great you had to be to go to 4 in a row.
I could tell you a lot about those teams. They went every year I was in high school. They went to the Super Bowl every year.
Same here, right? We talk about the futility, but on the flip side, you got to talk about the greatness. Because you can't name a team that went 4 consecutive. Not New England, where they had a year off, went back to back, had a year off. No, brother. I said 4 years in the row. From the time we were in high school, every year of high school, they were in the finals.
Yep.
That's greatness, bro.
That is greatness.
That's greatness, bro. How many Hall of Famers walked off that team? A lot.
I could think of 3 on offense and 1 on defense.
Bruce Smith.
Bruce Smith on defense. I think he's the only one because Tally's not in.
I know Reed. I know Andre Reed. I know Jim Kelly. I know Thurman Thomas.
Yep.
Did Norwood make it?
Oh, you know who else is in? Lofton. Lofton is in. He was more in his prime when he played for Green Bay.
Yeah.
But he was on those Buffalo teams. He was the number 2. Reed was number 1. And Lofton is in the Hall of Fame.
Yep.
He counts.
Yep. So now we talking about Florida. They go back to back, right? And say they do lose. Right? At this point, bro, I don't know who to go with in NHL. I really don't have a prediction because I will probably lean towards, if we talking about the greatest player, I'm going to lean towards Edmonton. If I'm talking about the greatest goalie, I'm going towards Florida. Bob,
it's hard to say. They call him Bob. Bobrovsky?
Bobrovsky, right. Bobrovsky. Top down. I always liked him, though.
I remember when he played for the Flyers.
Man, that's crazy. The Philly had him, man.
They had him over 10 years ago. Yep.
Dang, he is an old wild.
He's not that old. He was very young when he was with the Flyers.
Man, that's crazy.
He was their starter for like 2 years. Their starting goaltender.
And look what he
Yep.
become. He's going to Hall of Fame. He's definitely going to Hall of Famer, right?
Well, if they win,
You don't think he gets in even if they don't win?
the goaltender, Bob. I mean, has he had any other great years? I don't know. I know he's. I know he was great this year. Yeah, I don't know. I think he's got to win.
Yeah, he definitely got to win.
Before we talk about it, because his resume is not a Hall of Fame resume. Now he's had 2 good years, and you can get in if you win. If you win it all, you can have 2 good years and make the Hall of Fame at some point.
Yeah, that's facts.
Yeah,
Florida got a nice. I mean, they got a nice squad, man.
They're good, and they're going to be favored. And I am picking them to win. I'll be rooting for Edmonton.
Me too.
I'll be rooting for Connor McDavid.
Yeah, me too. But I think that Florida.
I think Florida's the better team, and I think them losing last year is going to help them this year.
Yeah, I agree. Because I felt like they lost to the better team last year. Honestly, but they lost to Vegas, was the better team.
Yeah.
I don't think Edmonton's the better team. I think they benefited from just good play at the right time.
A lot of offense. Their best player playing his best hockey in the biggest moments. But
Florida defensively,
it wouldn't shock me if Edmonton won.
No, I wouldn't at all.
I'm just not picking them.
No, I'm not either. I got Florida, man. I got Florida crying like crazy may sound, man. Man, Florida might win in 5, man.
Man, I was gonna say 5. I thought you were gonna say 7. I thought you were gonna say, man, I could see it being a good series.
Nah, I see 5, bro. I think Edmonton might get 1 at home, but I see Florida winning at home.
I can't believe you said 5. I'm saying.
Was you gonna say 5?
I'm gonna say Florida in 5.
Yeah,
but I hope it's Edmonton. I hope it's Edmonton in 7.
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah. I mean, if it's Edmonton's gonna go 7,
that would be be awesome. We would be talking more NHL in 2 weeks than we would be NBA.
Yeah, that'd be impressive. That'd be impressive. Lay a goal and push Game 7 and actually beat Florida. That'd be highly impressive.
It's kind of like the unstoppable force versus the immovable object, where you got Connor McDavid as that force and the Bob as the immovable object. You got the best offensive player against right now in the playoffs, the best goaltender. And you know what they say, you know, a goaltender, a great one. He's like the ultimate deodorant. Yeah. He can just keep you in a game. He can win a game. He can win a series.
That's a fact. Man. Yeah, them goalies, man. What? You hate when it's a good goalie in net. When you got them bums, oh yeah, but who that guy? Oh yeah. Yeah. And I went against that team. Oh yeah. Because of money. Because you know, jokers be coming on power plays, man. They put on them shots on them goalies. A trash goalie you gonna get one in.
Barbecue chicken, right? Barbecue chicken.
Barbecue chicken, man. Finger looking good, man. You know, but with a great one, man, you mad as hell, man. You like, cause you be happy, you be hoping for a power play. You be like, oh yeah, power play, yeah. Man,
a great one wants a lot of shots because what it does is it gets them in rhythm of making stops.
Yup. And I'm talking about great ones, man. They see
a great goaltender versus any other one. Any other one, the more shots you put on, the greater chance you do of scoring.
That's a fact.
But with a great one, he's getting more in rhythm now. He's like, okay, I got you. I know what you want to do. Yep. I got you.
It's like the puck becomes slow for him.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about he picking stuff off where you be like,
they get those eagle eyes.
It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy.
It's like an eagle up in the sky who can see like a rat or a squirrel or something like that and can just get it. And that's what a good goaltender will do. He'll see it coming, and he'll stick it away.
Even when he's on defender in his face, he'll still, because that's a lot of times he'll get a weak goaltender you can get by when the defender is blocking his vision and Joe get it through. But it'd
And
be
and
crazy.
and Bob is big too. He's
Yeah,
big.
he's a
So
big boy.
you're not going to be able to shield him
Mm-mm,
with the forward.
mm-mm. It's like, he's stuffed in that little box.
Yeah. It looks like the net sometimes is too small for these guys. It's like how do they let in any goals? You know
It's
what I
that.
mean? Especially down low when they do the butterfly, when they drop
Yo,
down and their knees come together. It's like how do they ever score? How do guys score? They're like, oh, there's not enough scoring in hockey. I'm like, are you nuts? The
what?
fact that they score at all
You
is
heard about
amazing.
that? Well, what?
Whatever. So we got the NBA finals with an S, which should be good. And we
Yes,
got
sir.
the NHL final starting Saturday, which we also think will be good. So I'm looking forward to that. So let's move on.
Yes, sir.
Unfortunately, in sad news, since we've been on the air and within the last 2 weeks, we lost three legends. Jim Otto, who was the center, number 00 for the Raiders. He passed away almost 2 weeks ago. Mr. Bill Walton,
Yeah.
throw it down, big man. He unfortunately passed away. Not this past weekend, the weekend before. So just a week and a half ago. And yesterday, we get the news that Larry Allen passed away at age 52 while on vacation in Mexico with his family. Yikes. So listen, I'm not going to talk too much about Jim Otto because it was before my time, but I know the name. He's easy to spot out because he was the 00 jersey right in the middle of that offensive line for the Raiders. Bill Walton, there's a lot to say about that guy. A
Yeah.
lot more to say about him than him as a player. He's arguably the second best player in college basketball. Behind
Reef.
Lou
Yeah.
Alcindor / Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Bill Walton's probably number 2. He's right there, winning
Right.
2 championships with UCLA. Dominant player. He was the Joker before the Joker.
Yeah.
That's who people compare him to. They're like, yeah, he looks like a healthy Bill Walton. Unfortunately, injuries derailed his career in the pros. Foot issues, leg issues, finger issues. But he did win 2 titles. He was a great player early on in his career at Portland, beating the 76ers, beating Dr. J's 76ers, losing game 1 and 2 at home in Portland to come back to win 4 straight against the 76ers in the 70s, the late
Yeah.
70s. And then as a 6th man for the 86 Celtics.
Yeah.
And that was his last great year because he was great coming off the bench. He couldn't start because he wasn't going to start over Parrish and McHale, but coming off the bench, he was awesome. And that was it, and then he got hurt the following year, and then a year after that, he retired.
Yeah.
So, and then Larry Allen, listen, you think of the Dallas Cowboys and all their good offensive linemen from the 90s. Okay, I'm talking Kevin Gogan, Nate Newton, Mark Stepnowski, Mark Tuinei, Eric Williams.
Larry Allen
all
definitely
those guys.
Yeah.
Only one is in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
And that's Larry Allen.
It's Larry Allen.
That's Larry Allen.
Yeah. Yeah.
He is one of the few guys that is famous for actually just his play on the field.
That's a great.
You didn't hear him talk. You didn't hear anything about his personal life.
Nope.
Nothing. There's 2 things. Well, 3 things. Fantastic guard, but he could play any position on the line, and he did at some point in his career. Fantastic guard. Arguably the best right guard ever. You can make a case.
Mm-hmm.
Known for lifting 700 pounds. Imagine that. 700 pounds.
That's crazy, man.
What?
That's crazy, man.
And even though this is a highlight for somebody else and a low highlight for Larry Allen, you really got to think about it and break it down. They always show when they show Reggie White's greatest plays, they always show him taking down Larry Allen, doing that hook and making Larry Allen flip. You got to keep in mind Larry Allen was playing right tackle and he was young. I think that was only his second year in the league. Going up against Reggie White, one of the best ever.
Yes.
And for the fact that they always use that as a highlight for Reggie White is really a compliment to Larry Allen. Like, look at what Reggie White did. He even did it to Larry Allen. So there's, it's kind of like dunking on a great defender, dunking on Mutombo or something like that. It's like, hey, it's good for the guy who did the dunking, but it's also saying, look at the respect that we're showing this highlight over and over because he dunked on Mutombo.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So that's how I see it with the Larry Allen thing. Larry Allen, man, I was thinking about the greatest offensive lines that I've seen, like players that I've seen, and it's hard not to put him in as the starting right guard to me. To me, it's between him and Will Shields from Kansas City. I think those are the two top guys. And I loved because I watched it live when it happened. I loved Larry Allen's Hall of Fame speech because he could not stop talking about his daughter. It's his time to shine, and all he wanted to do was talk about his daughter getting into Pepperdine. Yep. That's all he wanted to do. My daughter. You can call me the dummy, the quiet dummy football player, but I produced a daughter who's going to Pepperdine, and he got a lot of credit for that. A lot of people were standing and clapping for him for that because he had a big old smile on his face. Yep. And he got in 10 years ago. He was 42 years old when he got in. Wish he would have enjoyed it more than 10 years, but it is what it is. I mean, it's the old adage. Would you rather live a short life, but it's great, or live a long life and it's mediocre? Yeah,
you're right about that, sir.
So, he really gone way too soon, but had, a phenomenal playing career. I mean, he was first team all decade. He was first team all pro.
All right.
Pro Bowls.
All right.
This guy
was dominant,
dude.
He was dominant. He was dominant, man. Dominant.
That you know it. You know that.
I know it.
Line in the
90s. I know it.
He was the best one.
He was anchor.
He was the best. He was better than Nate Newton.
Yes.
He was better than Eric Williams. And for a few years, Eric Williams was the best offensive tackle.
We was dominating, man, in the 90s, man. We was dominating in the 90s, man. When that offensive line was really, really that deal. When we was opening up them holes for Emmett, we was protecting Troy Aikman and making sure he was upright. Larry Allen, brother. Pro Bowl. Larry Allen, brother. Championships. Larry Allen, brother.
All pro.
All pro. No question about it. No question about it.
All decade.
If you want to look at somebody in this day and time, you probably would give it to Kelsey, the Kelsey brother up in Philly.
Jason.
Jason Kelsey. Just consistently dominant.
Yeah.
You feel me? I would give it to him for just being, known for his dominance. You know what I mean? For the younger people that might not understand just how great Larry Allen was, not saying Jason Kelly's there, Kelsey's there, but that's probably close you want to get for y'all to see consistent greatness. You know what I mean?
But Larry Allen, like I said, he played all 5 positions.
Yeah.
He was most dominant at right guard, dominant. Jason Kelsey could only play center. He was too small for any other position.
Yeah, once again, I'm not comparing them. I'm saying for the younger people that don't understand, just the significance of what we're talking about. If you wanted to compare or just see consistency and dominating that position, it would have been Jason Kelsey. But like you said, you talking about a guy that could play all over the line. He was just really dominant at the right guard, but he could fill it, plug in anywhere you want him to. That's a hell of an athlete, man. It's not
Mm,
easy, man.
mm,
You talking about going to right to left? That's a whole different vision, technique. Oh, it
mm.
don't carry over like that in football, man. It's not as easy as you think it is. It is not.
No.
It's not. Especially when your body is like, it's a machine. So your machine is used to certain angles and attack mode, and your
Mhm.
body reacts to it like that. So for you to be able to shuffle through these positions and still be dominant, it's a hell of an athlete, you ask me, bro.
Every position on the line, your balance to start is
Yeah.
different. Your footwork is different, and your punch is
Yup.
different. So it's not if he's playing right guard, why can't he play left tackle? No, it don't work like
It
that.
works that way.
It don't work like that.
Never gonna work that way.
Is he right-handed? Is he left-handed? He if you know, you know. If
You
you
know.
don't know, Google,
Yeah.
because we ain't got time to explain this in detail.
Yeah.
Take our word for it. When
Please.
Gil and Larry said that guy was him,
Yeah.
that guy was him,
Yeah, he was him.
and that's it.
If you
Okay,
want,
well,
that's
what
it.
made him? What made him him?
Study the
Pro
tape.
Bowls, All Pro, All Decade, Super Bowl,
Study the tape.
Hall of Famer.
Plenty of it out there for you to see.
Yes.
Plenty.
Yes. Go to YouTube, look up the Cowboys from the mid '90s, and check out his career.
Since we talking about greatness, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about futility. Because the next guy I want to talk about.
Are we going to a different sport?
I'm going to a different sport.
Are we doing this kind of sport?
I'm going with that guy. Yeah, you just did that well, right? I got a bone to pick, right? Let me tell you something, Gilly.
Jab, jab, overhand. Jab, jab, overhand.
If you study boxing, right? Right, Gilly?
Yep. Mike Tyson punch out.
Right. What made, in your opinion, what makes a boxer a great boxer? In the greatness, what components do you need for you to be considered a great boxer? Not a good boxer, a great boxer.
The ability to hit and not be hit all in the
Okay.
same motion.
Okay. So in order for that to happen, you would need some called footwork, right?
A little bit.
A little bit, right?
I have seen guys who are flat-footed be very successful,
Okay.
but they specialize in something else to compensate for
Okay.
being flat-footed.
So if you're flat-footed, that means that your head movement had to be spectacular, right?
Good.
Or
You usually
you had
have
to
a good lead jab to
right
keep your distance
to
and
nullify
get your time.
that. Like we'll say, like I can't really say Lennox because Lennox actually had good foot speed. He was flat-footed when he got knocked out, but yeah, because Lennox was more flat-footed. He fought flat-footed.
Yeah,
but
he was
like
more
said,
flat-footed.
He kept people at bay with the jab. So I'm not gonna say he had an iron chin because he didn't. He had a weak chin, but he had a strong jab, right?
Who was that middleweight when Bernard Hopkins was still middleweight champ? Who was the guy that finally beat him? And then after he beat Bernard, he fought Winky Wright, and he won by decision there. And then he lost to the white guy, the Ghost. What was his name? Jermaine
Taylor.
Jermaine Taylor.
Jermaine Taylor.
He was very flat-footed.
Yep.
Very flat-footed.
Yep. But to talk about the futility I'm talking about, right? This guy Deontay Wilder, man. I've never been a fan. I've never been a fan. Never been a fan of this guy, right? Once again, I thought he missed his opportunity because at the time I thought he would have beat Anthony Joshua because Anthony Joshua I thought was just, he got the body of a heavyweight. I mean, he's guy's built, right? He even got some power, right? But he had a weak chin, right? I thought that once the Deontay Wilder hype machine was working best, that he missed his opportunity to fight. And maybe Joshua was smart. He didn't want to give up the belts, whatever the case may be. He didn't want to unify the belts, right? But watching this guy, because by the time I really caught up and got to watch the guy, it was a couple things that stood out to me. I was like, I don't know, because if you fight somebody that actually know how to fight, he's not going to win, right? He only had one punch, and that was a right.
Mm-hmm.
If he caught you with the right, yeah, it was powerful enough where you was going to sleep. Okay, so boom, he'll hit you with the first right and knock you down, right? And then after that, that's when he goes to crazy man mode and comes and wows up with this punch where there's no guard or nothing. He just starts throwing these crazy dumb haymakers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Crazy. Referee steps in. He act like he can't control himself. You know how I go, right? I'm looking at the guy's legs. The guy got small legs, man, like basketball legs, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's tall. The way he holds his guard is so awkward. It's not even funny. It's not even a guard. It's literally like this,
Mm-hmm.
like Jack Johnson or something back in
Yes,
or something.
that is a
like,
great comparison.
Yeah, you feel like Jack Johnson without.
If y'all don't know, was a turn of the century first black heavyweight boxing champion.
Yes. Only difference was Jack Johnson was knocking out jokers. Like it kind of reminded me of him. It's just that you can tell Jack Johnson has just more skill set, right?
Right. But that's the old school.
That's an old
setup.
Way where you can literally
when they
go
used
in
to
there
do like this.
Just like this. Yup. Right? Well, we're in a whole different era right now.
Mm-hmm.
That don't work. You went against Tyson Fury and you got exposed. First and foremost, you're fighting guys that's 50, 60 pounds heavier than you are, man.
Mm-hmm.
So when he just lost to this Chinese dude, right? He came in a weight. Deontay Wilder came in weighing 212. That's light for a heavyweight, right? The other guy came in weighing 286. 286, Gil.
Mm-hmm.
How was Deontay Wilder supposed to beat that guy? With that right?
Mm-hmm.
Guess what, man? We done caught up to the right.
Yep.
We done caught up to the right. So once you expose the right hand, he has nothing else in his arsenal. No jab, no hook, no uppercut, no bobbing, no footwork. So basically, he's got a guy with a right hand. I hope he got what he got to get out the sport, man, because he is done. Okay, he is over. He is at that boxing graveyard where we all must come to one day. When the game has passed you by, his skill, he doesn't train. Whoever's training him is doing a terrible job. Terrible job. Maybe it's a point where, you know, when a person's so old, you really can't coach him up anymore.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you trying to coach LeBron. You're not going to coach LeBron James. He coaches you.
Good luck, JJ Redick.
Y'all got a great podcast. Maybe you'll crack the nut and be the diluted LeBron, you know, because he respects you so much. Y'all respect each other so much that maybe you'll be that guy, right? But back to my point. It's time for this guy to retire. And you know what's sad, Gil? This was even worse about the sport of boxing. This was bad. You know, Mike Tyson and Jake Paul probably got postponed because Mike Tyson has an ulcer. He's 57. He should. He's old, right? Boom. It's sad when we look forward to an exhibition fight that means nothing more than actual boxing matches.
You're right.
Gil, we're looking forward to an old 57-year-old man fighting a YouTuber.
Mm-hmm. That's boxing's fault. That's boxing.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Why? Because you got these paper champions, because you know you can mail the belt in now. Email champions, we call them, right? Mm-hmm. You got guys cheating the sport like Ryan Garcia.
Mm-hmm.
No matter how much he denies, he cheated. Okay. Floyd and Pacquiao set the precedence for when not to fight.
Mm-hmm.
5 years later, now you want to fight. It missed his mark, right?
And look at all the hype that Conor McGregor and Floyd Mayweather got for their fight.
Once again, UFC boxing exhibition, way more hype than actual boxing, right? You got champions right now that don't want to fight the best. Canelo, As great as he does not want to fight Benavidez. As great as Canelo is, he will not fight David Benavidez.
Mm-hmm.
Why is that?
Probably taking a page out of Floyd Mayweather's book, which, Floyd took a page out of Sugar Ray Leonard's book.
Okay.
You fight the top name when the money is at its peak and when the fighter is not.
Smart play. Because you're not going to tell me that at this point that Benavidez ain't going to be a major draw. Benavidez is selling out. Benavidez is selling out. Right? Canelo automatically a ticket. He'll go to ticket. He just sold out of this bum he just beat. This guy De La Hoya had more press.
Yep.
You know what? Oscar De La Hoya is smart. He's smart. Because he knows his fighter is a bum. You know that guy's a bum. So he know the bum can't sell the fight. Mm-hmm. But I can sell the fight.
Mm-hmm.
Just attack me. I'm going to attack you. I think it's staged, man. I think it's staged. I think it's a lot of blood. I think it's a lot
of it is staged. Of course. They got to sell the fight. They got to sell the fight, and you can't have two guys wearing the white hat, and you can't have two guys wearing the black hat. Someone's got to wear the white, someone's got to wear the black.
Oscar knew that his fighter couldn't sell the fight.
So he sold it.
Mm-hmm. Put some respect on my name.
Yeah. He made it about him and Canelo instead of his fighter and Canelo.
Did it not work?
I mean, he's the only. I think De La Hoya is a scumbag, but he's the reason that I paid attention to the fight.
Exactly,
because of how he sold it.
Exactly,
not being a promoter, but how he sold it on mic. I still think he's a douchebag.
Yeah,
but he had me pay attention.
Yeah, but he had to fill the seats. He had to fill the seats up. Because nobody was going to come watch this bum behind fire he brought out.
Had to sell the pay-per-views.
He had to sell the pay-per-views. So he was smart on that end. This is where boxing is at, though. I brought that point up to say this is where we at. We're not here to see the best fight the best no more.
No.
We're here to see these bum behind, like Tank's about to fight Frank Martin. It's not a fight, bro.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a fight. At 135, it should be Shakur Stevenson. At 135, it should be somebody that actually will make the fight interesting. Frank Martin, you don't know I'm going to bring, you don't know, I'm going to take your belt. Yeah, sure you are. I don't believe that's going to happen. I've seen this guy box. Tank will have to have a super off day, and this guy will have to have the best day of his life. Okay? The significance of this guy beating Tank Davis is like Buster Douglas beating Mike Tyson.
Mm-hmm.
Only way Frank Martin's going to win this fight is if Frank Martin's mom died and said, hey, man, why don't you dedicate this fight to me, son? Outside of that, it's another payday for Tank. He's going to do a flip. He's going to smile. He's a great fighter. He was never great.
Mm-hmm.
I'm tired, Gil. I'm tired. Right? The last fight that we thought was going to be a fight, it wasn't a fight because one dude just destroyed the other guy. And that was Spencer Crawford.
Yep. And which, by the way, how many times have we seen Crawford since then? Come on, make that circle.
Donut.
A donut. So again, arguably the best pound for pound fighter in the world. Fighter, not boxer.
Yeah.
Fighter.
Right.
All combat sports.
Right.
Arguably number one. And I haven't seen this guy in a ring in over a year.
Over a year. He's calling out the Charlo brothers, but they're done.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want to box no more. They're loving their millions. They're loving their lifestyle. The game has passed them by. They didn't got the money and been drinking on the punch too much. Now they got mental issues. Only mental issues affect y'all got rich and y'all disrespected the sport.
This is when I don't like to agree with Dana White, but this is when I have to agree with them. When they get rich and they become millionaires,
Yeah.
where's the hunger?
There's no one.
Where's the I gotta have my next fight. I gotta keep going up the ranks. I gotta make that money. You know, they're getting
Nah,
$40,000 if they win. If they
nah,
win
nah,
on
because
average,
they're at
40,000.
home and I know you got your family and it's cool, right? I know you got your pretty Instagram OnlyFans model wife right next to you, you know, and she don't want you to fight no more. She wants to spend all your money up and enjoy the lifestyle, right? And you happy because you never had a girl this bad in your life before. You never had a woman this beautiful ever in your life, right? So now you walk, look at all your accomplishments and say, man, look at me. I done made it.
Mm-hmm.
Look, mommy, I done made it.
Mm-hmm.
Disgusted.
The late great Marvin Hagler said, "It's hard to get up early in the morning to train when you're sleeping in silk pajamas."
Ain't that the truth?
Just being honest, it's hard to
Ain't
get up
that the
early
truth?
in the morning to train when you're
Ain't
sleeping in
that the
silk
truth?
pajamas.
One thing I loved about cocaine, um, 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 pretty, Sugar Ray Leonard. Yeah, he was coked up. Yeah, he sniffed coke. Sure did. One thing I respected about Roberto Duran, he was an alcoholic. Yeah. One thing I respected about Marvin Hagler, I don't know about him. One thing I
I was
respect
like,
about
what did he do?
I don't know about him. I don't know about him. I ain't heard no dirt on his name. You feel me?
I think Tommy Hearns did a
Tommy
little.
Hearn was a snip. Yeah, he snipped the Coyola. He snipped. He might like that dope too. Like that
Mhm.
dope too. Okay. Mike Tyson,
Oh, we
with
know he
all
did
his
it all.
partying and loving the
He did it
girls and
all.
the girls.
He did
you
it
know,
all. I'm
um,
gonna marry Robin so I can
I'm
use
just
her as a
yeah,
sparring partner.
yeah. Ooh, yeah. Of
I would
all
never
the
hit my wife, Robin Givens. She's a
well,
television star. I
and
would never hit her. Now,
he's such a monster. He's
when
such a
I'm on
monster.
cocaine, I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Even with all their deficiencies, they still had a competitive nature in them that was unmatched.
Mm-hmm.
Even with all the things I just talked about that could take you away from the sport, right?
Mm-hmm.
They loved the sport. They fought. They fought the best. They didn't care about their records. They didn't care about being undefeated. They didn't care about that, Gil. For them, it was the man. Look, this dude the best. I know he the best, like you just said before.
Mm-hmm.
By you acknowledging my greatness, by you saying that, you're acknowledging my greatness,
Mm-hmm.
right? They wasn't trying to run from the smoke, bro. They was
Mm-hmm.
running to it. They don't care about no undefeated record. For them to say that for Sugar Ray Leonard Walker say he did not fight Roberto Duran in his prime, I don't think he could sleep at night with that thought. I don't think Marvin Hagler could sleep with the thought of not fighting Tommy Hitman. Look, they wasn't so bad. They said, forget boxing, man. We gonna slug it out.
Mm-hmm.
The last man standing wins.
Mm-hmm.
They threw the game plan to the side. Because ain't no coach told me for them to go out there and just start swinging. I know they did. But
That's not what Deontay Wilder does.
Oh my God, this guy right here, man.
Which
It's,
is
it's
why we
so
started
bad.
this whole thing.
It's so bad watching this dude, man. This is called futility at its finest. This is called not training. You did not train, bro. You did not train. You can't tell me you trained for this fight. You didn't work on anything. Your footwork still sucks. Your stand still sucks. You feel me? It's tired behind. I don't know what you're doing. No rhythm, no type of fluidity. It just uses hoping to get the right in. You
Hasn't
ain't
he
even
like
setting up the right. You just I'm gonna
hasn't
throw it
he
and hopefully it
lost?
lands.
Hasn't he lost like 4 out of his last 5 fights?
He lost 3 to Tyson Fury.
Well,
I'm sorry, he lost
the
2.
first
He lost
one.
2. It was first a tie. He lost 2 Tyson Fury, right?
Mm-hmm.
He just lost the Chinese guy. Didn't he lose to the dude white beat him.
Who did he fight before this Chinese
I
guy?
thought it was white.
I thought that's what I heard. I thought I
Yeah.
heard he lost 4 out of his
Yeah, he
last
lost
5.
4 or 5. Yeah. So
Eh.
ladies,
I guess the real question is does he fight again?
he
I
need to
say he
retire.
fights again because there's nothing else he can do, and he's not old, and they'll find some bum out there for him
Yeah,
to
that's
knock
fine,
out.
I
Because
honestly think he need to retire. I don't never think he's going to be the big draw anymore. And just for unless he's really hard up on money and he's doing this Joe Louis thing where he
he
needs the
made
money.
a lot. He made a lot.
Once
How's he
again,
hard
you
up
know,
on money?
boxers are not the smartest people in the world. They're not Floyd Mayweather. They're not running around here with strip clubs. They're not running around here with real estate. They're not running around here with $18 million watches. They're not running around here with promo companies. The average boxer is stupid. He doesn't manage his money well. And when the money runs dry, because this is a profession that, unlike any other profession, you know, you only fight once a year, obviously, right? So you got to make this money stretch for a lifetime. No wonder you got to make as much money as you make. So I will hope that he made great investments so that he don't have to keep fighting, because he's never going to get that pay-per-view draw anymore. Okay? So you're going to be restricted to fighting Rocky Balboa type arenas. And I ain't talking about when he fought Apollo Creed. I'm talking about when Rocky first came on, he was fighting in that smoky behind ring. You know what I'm talking about, Gil?
Spider Rico.
Yeah, Spider Rico. Yeah. That part.
By the way, did you know that in Rocky 2, when he's going back to boxing again, you know his sparring partner was Roberto Duran? You don't really see his face, but that was him. That was Roberto Duran. And in the second Rocky movie, his sparring partner, you only see him for a few seconds and you don't get a good look at his face. That was Roberto Duran.
Hey, Gil, man. Sports entertainment, right? You know what I dug in the crates to start watching, man? Because I didn't watch this when I was younger because I just didn't think that I would be interested in it at all.
Give it
and
to
maybe
me.
because I'm getting older that I could relate more to the subject matter. I'd have dug in the trace or watched Sex and the City. Can you believe that?
Are you that bored?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, it's funny that you say that because I have a show recommendation after our last topic. Do you want to get into this Caitlin Clark thing now?
Yes, I do.
All right. Well, listen, she is all over social media. It's like they got a bounty on this poor girl. I don't get it. You know, I understand jealousy and envy. That's with everybody. But you don't shoot the golden goose. You don't take out the person that is getting your sport, your league, the most views it's ever gotten. The WNBA has never had ratings this high since she's been in it. The WNBA draft has never had ratings, viewership of their draft like they did this past one. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't for no Angel Reese. Sorry, not sorry. Okay? It's because of Caitlin Clark. Like her, don't like her, whatever. That's the fact. The ladies just started getting private chartered planes this year because Caitlin Clark said, you know what? I don't understand why we don't have private chartered planes. Why are we flying commercial? A week later, they're all of them across the board, private chartered planes. Okay. And you want to take her out? Have you noticed every primetime game in the WNBA has involved the Indiana Fever? And they're terrible. What do they have? 1 win?
2
wins.
Yeah.
2 wins. And I know one of them was the Chicago Sky.
Yeah. It barely beat them.
Surprisingly, Angel Reese's team. And I think it's weak. Okay. I think it's weak that Kennedy Carter doesn't want to talk about Caitlin Clark during a post-game press conference, but hours later will go on social media and say, I don't get what all the hype is about this girl. All she does is shoot threes. Why couldn't you say that to the press after the game? Why did you wait hours later to
Well,
talk about who you didn't want to talk about, who
well,
you made a play on that was not a basketball play? That was a cheap shot. You could say you play hard, you got dog in you, and that's how you play against everybody. Fine, fine, fine. The fact is, everybody is watching Caitlin Clark, whether you want them to or not. They're watching her, and you took a shot at her when she didn't even have the ball. That's a cheap shot. That's why you hear the terms thug, you know, and let's be honest, this is about color. Two colors, green and white. They don't like that she got that $28 million deal before she played one game in the WNBA. They don't like it when the highest paid player in the league is making $250,000 and she signs a $28 million deal before she's played one game. They don't like it. They don't think about she's opening the door for others. Okay, they're jealous. They're envious. And Paul Pierce said it best. He didn't think no white girl was going to come in there and whoop up on inner city black girls. That is a backhanded compliment, but it is the truth. And they don't like it. We're not talking about a girl who's 6'6", like a Wembayama, tall, super athletic, got the physical skills, next generation athlete. No, she's 6 feet tall. She's a guard. She's not much on defense. She's a good scorer. She's a great outside shooter. She's the equivalent to Steph Curry, right? That's the comp. That's the comp. But the NBA was big before Steph got there, and he's left his mark. He's made the game better. He's going to be a Hall of Famer. Okay, Steph Curry has earned his place, but the NBA was big before he was there. The WNBA was the WNBA. Okay, outside of seeing highlights on SportsCenter or wherever you watch your highlights, who was watching WNBA games from start to finish? Go ahead, I'll wait.
You won't find one. I mean, even maybe a girl was, but I know we wasn't watching none.
Mm-hmm.
So once again, I thought, I mean, it is what it is, man. We in America, man. Unfortunately, America is America, man. America is the land of the divided. You know what I mean? Like, it's just the way we are, man. That's the way we came up in this country, man. Unfortunately, we don't look at, as much as you want to ignore it, it's in your face. You go to jobs and you'll see the workforce might be all white management and the black labor force. You feel me? And we just feel like, oh, they got the edge up because he's white. And that's just coming from being in the inner city, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it translate over to basketball. Inner city wise, we like, man, we didn't put the work in. We got skills. We're probably better than her, right? But being the fact that she is white, the market's going to open up for her. Once again, it goes back to the privilege thing. You know what I'm saying? I personally think that if you look into the sport itself, like you said, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. But for her, and it's a lot of great players that came through the WNBA down to Tarazi. I could go
Two Bird.
We could go with. I remember Terrell Swoops and Tina Thompson, and from Houston when they had the Houston Cynthia Cooper for the City, right? So we have big analysis, some great players. Brittany Stewart, Brianna Stewart. Mm-hmm. Like we can name Ionoska.
Elena Deladon.
We have so many good names, right?
Shamika Holtzclaw.
Right? Candace Parker, we can name them.
Candace Parker.
Right? Lisa Leslie, we can name them, right?
Mm-hmm.
But, like you said, we wasn't
Rebecca Lobo.
We wasn't watching WNBA game all the way through. Only time I could probably say I did probably when Cynthia Cooper was playing for Houston Comets. Mm-hmm. They called her the Michael Jordan of WNBA, and she damn near played like it. Mm-hmm. She was awesome. And it was great for them to have small teams then, because it wasn't a big league at that time. but it was competitive and it was a great league to watch because it was highly competitive, right? But then it had a drop-off period, man. Drop-off period, man. About watching that, man. That's why these girls got to go overseas and get the big contracts to play overseas in the offseason, right? Thanks to Caitlin Clark, the price to win up. What they say, yesterday's price ain't today's price.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? So now she done set the bar. So much as you may hate on her, you should be thanking her. Because prior to her, nobody's getting no $20 million shoe deal. Right? I look at it like this, bro. What she's about to do, and the Angel Reese's, because she's Angel Reese bring controversy too, and all these girls, right? This new age of basketball players reminds me of when Dr. J came from ABA to NBA. Because do you remember, the ABA have actually better athletes in the NBA at that time.
Dr. J was better in the ABA than he was in the NBA. Look at Dr. J on YouTube playing for the Nets, number 32.
Yes.
And look at him, number 6 with the 76ers.
Completely night and
It's
day.
almost not the same player.
At all. We can agree that ABA was a way more athletic and freer league. Because NBA was like watching Bob Cousy to play. It was boring. It was boring.
In comparison.
If
they were the only one, you wouldn't say they were boring. But in comparison, it's like the NFL, AFL. The AFL was the one that aired it out. The NFL was ground and pound.
It was ground and pound. Yep, AFL, you're right. Warren Moon and boys, it was airing it out, right? Like you said, it wasn't saying it was better. Just the style of play was more exciting.
Yeah. The Jets, Joe Namath.
Right. But I think that what she's able to do is bring that exposure. Because like you said, now they get sold out. Dog. They wasn't getting no sold out arenas. Like you said, Indiana Fever is what, 2-8, 2-9.
They have the second worst record in the league.
Yeah, outside of Washington.
Right. Who hasn't won yet.
But they sell out every game since the girl had been there. 17,000.
And the viewership, the ratings on ESPN, number 1. They're the number 1 watch team.
They're smart. They're smart. Keep on attacking her. Keep on doing what you're doing. Keep on targeting her. It brings more exposure to the league. Because guess what we do? Yo, the woman had to pick up on it, man. Controversy sells, bro. You feel me?
Bad press is still better than no press.
It's better. Hey, would you rather us talk about it than don't talk at all? Hell, we've been talking about them at all for the last couple of years.
Last year at this time, you and me at your job, we're talking sports every single day. Every single day. We didn't mention WNBA not one time.
Not one time.
Since Caitlin Clark, the end of college, and the WNBA start this year, we've mentioned Caitlin Clark on every single show. On every single show, we've mentioned her.
You know what's crazy? She's going to get better.
Oh, yeah. She's had no time to prepare for the pros. She went from college, draft, training camp, games.
No.
She's had no time. Where do you see her next year?
When the game slows down, when she's starting to figure it out.
When she's stronger.
Yeah, she's going to be what we thought she was going to, what she is.
Yeah.
Because once again, it's a difference, man. You're going from college where, you know how college is, bro. You're not playing the best every night. You might play the best once in a blue in the college schedule, woman-wise, right? Because they're used to beating girls by 50, 60, easy, right? Because the competition ain't there, right? NBA, even the worst team, is still the best of the best.
Because they're all pros.
They're pros, bro.
Every single player is a pro.
Every single player you go play. It's not like, okay, yeah, you go play Washington Mystic, but they can still beat you.
Yeah.
So you're not going out there just playing some bones. You're not.
Right.
So once again, that level of play, it intensifies. It's showing you just how strong their league really is, because this woman broke records in the NCAA, but she's struggling her rookie year in the league. So it's showing you that the level of competition with these professionals is different than in college.
Mm-hmm.
Once again, it highlights the greatness of their league.
Mm-hmm.
Kudos to Caitlin. Kudos to all the haters, because you need hate to get the love.
Mm-hmm.
That's how this kind of work, Gil. We need the hate to build the love.
Yeah.
The same thing you hate, you end up loving.
Hate. It's like do the right thing all over again.
All over again.
Love, very much. Love, hate. Yep. Yep. It's funny how that works.
Funny how that works, man.
All right. Before we get up out of here,
yes, sir.
I got a show to recommend.
Okay.
I think it's one of those like one season, limited time. There's not going to be a season 2. And it's called Clipped. It's on Hulu.
Oh yeah, with the Clippers owner.
Yeah, Donald Sterling.
Donald Sterling.
Played by Ed O'Neill.
Yeah.
You'll remember Ed O'Neill. He was Al Bundy on Married with Children. He was also on Modern Family. And Lawrence Fishburne plays Doc Rivers.
Doc Rivers, okay.
So, and it's they've already had 2 episodes out. And I doubt very much that they'll be able to stretch it past, one season.
Yeah.
But who knows? I didn't think Winning Time was going to make it past 1 season on HBO, and it did. It's got 2 seasons now, so who knows? But I've watched the first 2. I watched the first 2 episodes today, and I recommend it. It's pretty good.
Oh, definitely.
This guy was a weirdo.
Yeah.
And his whatever she was, to me, is equally a weirdo, just a different kind of weirdo. Spoiled, wanted to be Kim Kardashian.
Okay.
It's pretty entertaining. I don't know how super accurate it is to true life, but it gives you it gives you the knowledge of knowing pretty much why Donald Sterling got in trouble, and the basic storyline of the relationship between him and this girl and the team. But I got to tell you, man, I don't know how anybody ever played for this guy.
Is that bad?
He was so weird. I mean, let's put aside the racial aspect,
right,
because outside of one recorded conversation, nothing so far on this show has mentioned anything about him previously, making inappropriate comments, for the most part, about, ethnicity and race and stuff like that. A little bit, but not over the top. But he was so weird. He's so weird. And like, how does this guy become a billionaire? And how do players play for him? Well, you gotta play for somebody. Someone's gonna hire me as a coach. I'm gonna be a coach. Like they knew that they were, and a losing organization to boot. The little stepbrother to the Los Angeles Lakers. You're in the same town, sharing the same arena. Ugh. I don't even know what to compare it to. So, but anyway, I recommend. The first 2 episodes were good. Believe it or not, this Donald Sterling thing was like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Time goes fast. So check it out. It's called Clipped. It's on Hulu. The first 2 episodes are out there. So, you watch it. You give me back feedback. We'll talk about it. Hopefully the people out there will leave a comment and say they watched it and whether they liked it, disliked it, and their reasons why. And we'll talk about it on our next show.
Yes, sir.
So, anything else you want to add before we wind up?
That's it, man. And the Accolade. I'm about to watch the Accolade too. It's a Star Wars thing. With the Star Wars. Viewing the Star Wars is prior to the Empire being built. It's the Accolade, and it's going over the dark side of Force and how it was combating the Jedi's. So I'm going to see what this is about.
I'm going to see that soon, but I have to finish watching Blood of Zeus on Netflix.
Oh, Blood of Zeus? What's that on?
It's on Netflix. It's on season 2.
What's it about?
Oh, Blood of Zeus. It's anime. It's about the war between gods and titans.
Yeah.
Do I have to say any more?
Yeah, now you got to say no more.
It's good. It's like
I,
8 episodes per season.
I got to see it then.
Yeah, it's
Blood of
good.
Zeus. Is it real good?
Blood of Zeus.
I'm on
Anime.
it. You turn me on.
Anime.
You turn me
Netflix.
on.
And Godzilla -1 is also on Netflix.
Is that a series?
No, it's a
Is this a
movie.
movie?
It's a movie, and it won something in the Oscars, this past Oscars. I can't
Okay.
remember what it was, but it won something. It won a good award. Uh, the difference between this Godzilla movie, I'll make it real quick because I know we're about to wrap up. The difference between this Godzilla movie and pretty much all the other Godzilla movies is this movie, Godzilla is like a supporting actor. It's really not about Godzilla. The story is about the people, the main people, the main stars, the storyline with about the people, because it starts with a kamikaze pilot who lost his nerve and flies over to a little island where the mechanics repair the planes that were trying to get shot down as they were making their approach.
Right.
And this is the very beginning of the movie, so I'm not giving away anything other than the first 5 minutes. He lands on this island, and they're all like, "I don't see any damage on this plane here," and they realize that he cowered out. That's how it starts. And that guy, that pilot, is the main star of the movie, not the only, but the main star. And this is during World War II. That's the setting. Like shortly before they get bombed. Before Japan gets bombed, shortly before that, because right after that they do get bombed, and the bomb, what does it create in the ocean and stuff like that, things like that. So I recommend it, and it comes dubbed, so you can either read the captions, or you can just listen to it in English.
Okay.
And do however you want. Godzilla -1, very good movie, and clipped on Hulu. First 2 episodes are out now. Want to thank everybody for tuning into the show, the What's Good with Gil and Larry podcast. We will, I don't want to say definitely be back next Wednesday, but probably be back next Wednesday because we want to talk a little NBA. Maybe we'll do a shorter show instead of trying to stretch it for an hour and a half or whatever. Maybe we'll just condense it to a short show and leave it at that. Sometimes it's better to do that, or skip a week so we have actually good stuff to talk about, which is what we did this week. So remember, we will be back next Wednesday, 9:00. And if we're not on, that means there's really nothing to talk about. So we'll catch you the following week. You know what I'm saying? Or it'll be a shortened show. But whatever. Please leave a comment, like, subscribe to the podcast. And before I go, Bill Walton was an extremely positive guy. So I'll just leave you with one of his famous sayings, because he loves to spread joy and love to everybody. And since he's gone, we should carry on his positivity, his messages. And one of his sayings was, shine the light, be the light. Thank you all. We'll catch you next week, hopefully. For Larry Loper, I'm Gil Rizari. Deuces, y'all.
Peace, my brother. Great show.
Touchdown Bears.